Welcome to the In Season podcast, rated R for language.
None of us are doctors or neurologists. The things you're about to hear are opinions of people living with epilepsy or seizures. These are firsthand experiences. Epilepsy can cause speech problems, and the medications are hard to pronounce. So please bear with me.
Epilepsy can cause bad memory, so some stories will be repeated. I'm Pookie. Get ready. Sick of taking care of my brother. My brother has epilepsy. He is 15. He always takes things so far. His jokes involve hitting me, insulting me. Even when I'm crying, he laughs at me and calls me a baby and insults me more. Yet I still care, and I'm the only one mainly who cares about his seizures. I don't know why he is like this. Just now, me and my mother were all having fun and playing around. My brother comes in and we are all joking, and then he decides to kick me as a joke and starts fighting me to smash an egg on my head. I scream for him to stop, and he's grabbing me. He makes me lock myself in a room, and once he gets through, he grabs my hair, and I begin to cry. He makes fun of me and calls me all these names. I don't understand why. Just prior, I was caring for him during him having a strong aura, and he was scared he was going to have a seizure. Despite all of this, he treats me awfully, and my mother tells me to go away so I can keep my brother calm. Why do I bother? I don't understand. I feel like I'm being punished. He has broken my door trying to get to me, and I have all bruises all over me. I'm sick of this. He is psychotic and ruins things out of nowhere and finds it funny. Yet I'm the one that's always here caring for him when he gets scared. I just need to rant without being selfish, and my mother making me feel bad that I don't want to care for his seizures anymore. I get treated like shit for caring and then called a hysterical when I break and terrible for not wanting to help with his epilepsy, because why should I? Am I selfish? Selfish is the question.
If I may ask, did he mention how old he was? They said his brother's 15.
Yeah, so I don't know. I didn't even think that's a guy. I was thinking it might be a female, but beyond that.
Yeah, if he's busting in, grabbing her hair a bunch, or his or her, then it sounds like at this point their ability might not be enough to stabilize him. So maybe discussing with any other caretaker. They only mentioned the mom, it sounded like once. But if they could have a serious conversation with mom, this is too much on me. I still have a life to live, just phrase it in a way that's going to be conveying the message that this is serious now. This is a breaking point. So what's the plan? If he's not getting better, what are we going to do about it? And don't put it on me.
I'm sorry. You know how some people get when when they have been diagnosed with epilepsy or whatever the disorder may be, they lose it. And that might be the problem with this gentleman, is he just needs.
Anytime you're on meds during puberty, I mean,
I think also, like,
rage.
I'm half gonna, we're giving this person the benefit of the doubt because we have to answer the question. We also don't have the other side of this story, and we've all addressed so many questions that are like, my family member is treating me like I'm doing XYZ. So just on the flip side, just to point out, a question like this, maybe not this person, might be not being completely truthful or just feeling a lot of pressure because they're not the person that's supposed to be. Yeah, exactly. So it can feel like a lot, and I'm going to assume this is actually happening. And yeah, how old is this person and where are their parents?
Yeah, we never get the whole story.
My sister and I had a lot of emotional regulation problems. I mean, not to the physical abuse extent, but I mean, similar kind of shit to people, and we didn't know why we were doing it, and we weren't even on meds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does sound crazy.
It opens a lot of doors, you know.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of you're right, it's all one-sided. We don't have a lot of information.
Yeah, hopefully either way, they find a way to balance the care and actually make progress. So
Get
this one,
him off
not too
the
long ago,
Keppra.
somebody, oh, go ahead.
I said, get him off the Keppra.
Oh, I just threw that out there as an example of what can cause somebody to actually like not be themselves for a little bit.
Once again, I can't say if that's the medicine or anything. Being a 15-year-old, the 15-year-old has the epilepsy, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was pretty aggressive at that age. I mean, I was aggressive with my friends. Like I was always with aggressive with them. I was always shoving them around, but I was never shoving my family members around, though. I mean, I was very nice to them. What I remember, for the most part. I mean, I had, some temper tantrums, but um, yeah, but I was pretty weird when I was a teenager, but uh, I'd like to hear you know, the, the epileptic patient's side of the story because that's a bizarre age and, to be healthy at. When you throw all the medications in, it's yeah. I'd like to hear his side of the story, or yeah.
I was kind of a little kind of siding with her on the is that selfish part, and personally, I keep after someone else putting the pieces together and telling me, but you're not the one who has to see the seizure. So I wouldn't say she's selfish. I think she's maybe just getting tired. Eventually, you
I
just
can
get
see that.
tired, and you're a sibling. You're not a parent,
The
so
wear and
you're not
tear.
selfish. Because on top of having to see a seizure, you're taking care of this person. You have to see them. So yeah,
Okay.
that's enough to wear me out, and then I have to
And then
deal
yeah,
with
and then
the
they're wearing
physical.
you out physically.
Yeah, I got to
That's
deal with the
fair. That's
physical,
fair.
and
That's a fair, yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't say she's selfish.
No.
In the beginning, I thought otherwise, just reading the caption, but got into it. No, I don't think it's a selfish situation. People just get tired, and this is a lot on top of, like I said, on top of seizures. They can be a lot, depending on the medication we're on as well. But
And just called it out in the chat, caregiver fatigue.
I got
So
something
this one
here.
was, oh yeah, go ahead.
It says people don't realize how isolating epilepsy is. I am a university student, and I have never felt more isolated than trying to make friends on my course as someone who doesn't drink and generally can't do late nights out. It feels like all forms of socialization for students revolves around alcohol, pubs, and clubs, and it's so frustrating. I want to hang out and make friends, but drinking environments are are so alienating. Whenever I suggest any type of outing to my friends I have made, going to the pub or pint of something description is inevitable. Added inevitably added to the itinerary. I don't want to sit in the pub and pay all this money for soft drinks while everyone else gets wasted. I get very downtrodden at the prospect of my social life looking like this forever. I'm already not great at making friends, and there aren't really any sober societies near me. Does anyone else feel similarly?
Man, I was reading something very similar to this on a Yahoo message board, epilepsy board, and here's a gentleman, pretty much the same thing. He's been diagnosed for a couple years, and he's a partier. He smokes pot, he drinks, he does coke, and he's young, and he doesn't want to give it up. But and his doctor tells him that he's got to, but he's not happy with that. What should I do? And I was like, number one, you have to accept the fact that you're epileptic, and doing dope and drinking and smoking is not going to work. But he wants to still be part of the crowd. He wants to be with his buddies. We see that we read a lot about this anymore, and I wonder if these people really are thinking about what their life, whether or not they're still on the fence, whether or not they're epileptic, or whether or not they can go out and party with their buddies.
I personally think that since I was having a hard time accepting that I was epileptic, I was using substances to excuse my seizures and to still fit in and to self-medicate myself. I was using substances and I was just kind of just doing whatever, and then finally, after receiving electroconvulsive therapy and having a formal diagnosis and really sitting down with myself and accepting the fact that I should just take care of myself instead of working against my body, I can work with my body. It's been a lot easier on me physically. Mentally, it's really hard. It's really depressing and really lonely. But it's just about finding a new group of individuals that I feel comfortable around, and the fact that alcohol and substances in the first place are what the friend group is centered around is a red flag, and you should have people that are okay with hanging out and maybe doing a little art thing or pottery class or some silly shit like that, or maybe watch a movie and maybe you can have a glass of wine. It's not gonna, hopefully it's not gonna kill you.
Right.
Or you can have like a little bit of weed if you don't mind it. But you don't have to be a party animal. Like I tried to be a party animal and it's just not for me, and that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that.
If I may, I was reading a lot of the comments that went along with this morning. I read about 5 or 6 of them before I just hung it up. Everybody was saying, well, it's fine. It's okay if you go out and I just don't get as high. Don't get as drunk. It's okay. You have to find an equilibrium in there somewhere. You just don't, I mean, I don't know why people throw these things out there. I mean, this epilepsy is not a game. I mean, these people are playing like I mean, you could die. You can be getting drunk and drive. These guys are driving around in cars, stoned. And they're throwing out the epilepsy ball as if, well, I'm epileptic, so I still wanna do this, I still wanna do that. And everybody's saying, well, do what you want to do, it's okay.
Just don't dig your own grave.
Well, they
Rick?
were all saying,
Uh,
that's it. That's what everybody was saying, and it didn't make any sense to me.
I mean, and you want to talk about something that doesn't make sense. This post here, the first one is somebody's
Rick
claiming or
had
saying
his
that.
hands up.
Go ahead.
Oh no, you go first. Finish up.
Okay. So they were claiming that a girl at their school seems to have epilepsy, but her seizures are too convenient because they always happen around an important test. And then the comments go on to say that, another reason is because that we let her know on TikTok she should put a seizure warning at the beginning of the videos, and she got all offended by that, saying I shouldn't have to cater to you because of, my problems. And then this one was questioning her. Somebody questioned her about PNES, and they got into a conversation a little further, and this girl acted like she didn't know what SUDEP was. And that's pretty much the end of the comments that they were updating, saying that's what sealed the deal. And now we think this girl is literally just saying she has seizures so she can miss tests. So apparently there are people out there that might actually do it. They don't say what grade this is or any more details, but I guess some people can go that low.
Yeah, but Kate, I completely agree that that happens. It just simply does. It's written by these freaking people who don't actually have the condition. So how do we know? Like, to them, of course, it looks like it's convenient, but stress or testful. Tests are stressful. And some people, they get triggered by stress. And this is a girl, and they're gonna get told that they have psychological seizures, probably no matter what, and by everybody who's a doctor and not a doctor. And these posts just, I'm not sick of you reading them. I'm sick of them existing without the knowing what this person is doing. We don't know what this person is doing. And honestly, like, fuck these kind of posts. That's something for that person who's faking it or not to figure out with their doctor. And everybody else, you know what? Just suck it up and deal with it. What does it matter if they're doing it? Just take your test and shut up.
They will reap what they sow.
Yeah, back to the thing where the person said it was isolating. I see how it can be isolating at times, especially like in the beginning of your journey. When you're just checking yourself out of things that you can't do. You're like, I can't do this, so I can't be with them people. I can't do this, so I can't go with them there. It can be a little isolating, and then once you get a hold of it or get your head together, I don't exactly know how to put that, but yeah, it took some time for me to just be like, okay, yeah, I got this. For a long time, I was just, all right, I have epilepsy. Wasn't worried about things as much as I am now. But Rick, you had something?
Yeah, so the person who feels like they're isolated, so I've taken substances in the past. Um, so I'm not one of those people that I don't judge. I don't say no, you shouldn't do that. But as I've gotten older, I've gone where I don't need that. I bring the party. I'm also the designated driver most of the time, and I'm okay with that. I joined a church that was very strict with substances, and my friends were cool with it because I sat with them while they drank. I had Sprite. I like Sprite. I sat with them while they smoked. Cool. I put on some funny videos, watched them laugh their asses off. Everything was cool. So when it comes to isolation, yes, I had a few friends that were really put off that I didn't drink alcohol with them. I became less involved with them because that's their problem, not my problem. I'm cool with everybody. So if I decide I don't feel like drinking, then you should be okay with that because I'm still having fun. I'm still bringing the fun. So with the whole isolation thing, either their friends accept it and then everybody moves on or get new friends. That's the way I feel about that part. And what better time to meet new friends than when you have something new that you're dealing with, right?
I just cut out a lot of people that, like, my dealers and stuff. I just cut them out completely, blocked them, took them out of my life, and then I've been sober. It's not easy and fun, but it's life.
This is Well, another thing, epilepsy stops me from having fun. I have a friend that I like to hang out with, but he only likes going to bars and getting drunk all the time. Since I have epilepsy, I'm not able to drink, and I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of fun and fun moments, especially when I see him post stuff on Instagram about having fun with all of his other friends. Do you guys have any advice about doing anything fun without drinking? That was similar to what we just went through. To just, yeah, like Rick said, drink Sprite.
The fact that everything is surrounded by substances in the first place is a red flag that doesn't have to do with epilepsy.
I haven't drank in over 20 years.
Yeah, I don't drink.
Uh,
I smoke I smoke every day, usually some weed, but I don't go heavy all the time. But other than that,
Yeah, I
and
haven't
I'm not
drank
around
since Easter.
anybody that, I'm sorry, both.
Oh, I just said I haven't drank since Easter. I haven't had tobacco since, I haven't had nicotine since the 15th. Wait, yeah, there we go.
So everybody
Yes.
that I associate with does not, we don't indulge in cigarettes, smoking pot, drinking. We don't cuss a whole lot, if at all. Our- we just find things to do that doesn't involve any of that stuff. But then again, that's just a 60-year-old man. I'm not a kid that's out partying with all his buddies.
Yeah.
So I can't. I guess I don't have much to say in that area.
You got something else. It says, helpful bartender. I just need to bitch about this interaction I had last night. I feel like some folks here may have had similar experiences. I was at an art opening with a little bar and they had a bottle of, is it Aperol? I asked for a LaCroix with a small splash of something on the top. I don't know that word. The bartender seemed really weirded out. So I explained that I have epilepsy and don't drink. I just like the bitter flavored beverage. Once in a while, he said, "Oh, this is the cure for epilepsy." I said, "No, alcohol is a seizure trigger." Then he said, "I'm sorry to break it to you, but the carbonated bubbles in the LaCroix also make your body absorb alcohol faster." I took a sip to make space for about 1 tablespoon of whatever that other word is. Aperol. Anybody? Yeah, so
APR.
Aperol?
Aperol. What
Is
is
that the
that?
earlier one? It's a liqueur. It's like a really sweet, like yucky alcohol.
Okay, yeah, so the person said they took a spoonful. I'm lost now. Oh, about 1 tablespoon. I've been doing this for years. I think I'll be okay. He proceeded to act like he was selling me a rope to hang myself. Maybe it's my own fault for bringing up epilepsy, but I find it really annoying to have random people trying to tell me how to manage my medical condition. Aperol is 11% ABV, and I was diluting maybe half an ounce in a 12-ounce can. Alcohol isn't even the big trigger for me. I just avoid it and be safer. I'm also medicated and can legally drive because my seizures only happen at night. I'm a 40-year-old woman, if that matters. Kind of changes things. I thought it was a guy for a while. Come on, we got some opinions. You guys listen to me read that and have nothing.
Is the woman a bartender?
It sounds like she wasn't the bartender. Like, sounds like a bartender was trying to serve her drinks.
And she
Really trying
knew
to
that
sell
she
it.
had a problem? And she knew that if this was a bartender and she knew that this man or woman had a medical disability and she's feeding her alcohol. Is that what I understood?
No, she told the person that she has epilepsy. Now he's trying to feed her alcohol. He's really trying to sell it. He told her alcohol is the cure for epilepsy.
Oh.
He's really trying to sell a bottle.
Yeah,
Okay, everybody,
okay.
let's go do a shot of Aperol and our epilepsy will go away.
Right.
If it does, I'll be happy.
I'd rather not even risk it, but yeah, that was a lot. One of the comments says, I've brought it up in a lot of situations like this. Luckily, my local dive has a sober bartender who knows I really do just want to splash. I don't have a local bartender.
Well, I guess anything's all right in moderation. I'm serious. I mean, if you want to have a beer or you want to have a glass of wine, I don't know if you guys smoke pot. You get a little high. If you're not getting stupid drunk, fall down stupid drunk. I mean, you just have to use your, common sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I think you all know. I think I've made it clear what my history was, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I've been there, I've done that, got the shirt. So no. You have to have your own, your head on your shoulders and make educated decisions.
Yeah, advocate for your own health. But something else here. It says 21st soon. What should I do? 20-year-old male here was diagnosed when I was 14 and was weaned off Keppra after about 2 years. Thought I was undiagnosed until 2023 when I had another TC that lasted a little over 3 minutes. My entire family and my friends drink alcohol. I used to drink when I was off Keppra for those 2 years. I did not have issues. It sucks now because I have completely quit alcohol and everyone around me still drinks, and it's so tempting, yet I refuse to indulge in it. What makes it even worse is I really don't have anyone to talk to about this, honestly. I haven't talked to a neurologist since I was first diagnosed back when I was 14. I'm worried of the consequences of mixing alcohol with my Keppra. I don't want to have another seizure, but I'm turning 21 in a month, and I know everyone will want me to drink. I've been seizure free for about 2 years and have never had a TC while on Keppra, thank God. A part of me just wants to say screw it and drink, have a good time, and worry about the consequences later. But I also want to be safe and not have to worry about it in the first place. What makes it even worse is I feel like no one is understanding my point of view, and I feel left out because I'm the only one not drinking. It just sucks, and having no one to genuinely understand the situation makes me feel even more left out.
I'm sorry. I'm
Seriously, this person is so
seriously.
close to just making the wrong choice. It might be even hard to remember how annoying it is to have these seizures, but just because you're turning 21 to sacrifice
Exactly.
all that
All
progress and
that.
control, not worth it. This person really needs somebody to reason with them quick. And the
Right,
fact that they're
Katie.
saying everybody around me is going to want me to drink, that's not your crowd.
No, what are you doing with these people?
I'm turning
I mean, are
21.
you that insecure
I'm
with
turning
your
21.
daily life?
I'm turning 21 soon, and I'm just smoking. Like some weed. That's it.
A big session.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to
that's
get
it.
rid of my friends though. I mean, you got to have some kind of middle ground.
As
Yeah, you
long
don't have
as
to.
as
You don't
long
have
as
to get
they're
rid of your
not.
friends.
Oh yeah, I was
You just
just
don't have
Calling
to.
them
You don't
friends
have
is a
to.
loose term,
Just
though.
tell
If
them
they're pushing
no.
you to do something and they know you have epilepsy, but
Right.
they want to
That's
go
If
do
not
it
a
they're not
friend.
regardless.
willing to do something else with you, then that's not really a real friend group.
Right. They don't care anything about you. That's all. That's where that's at. I mean, you
Me
don't
and
want
my
to be
one
around
friend just
people like
colored the
that.
other day, and we didn't do anything. We just colored.
That's
My
a big
kids
friend. I
Hey,
don't have a
colored.
friend.
Lufa, I was under the impression that kids don't drink that much anymore. Am I wrong?
Kids? I'm not a kid.
I'm a little beyond that
I think
myself.
kids are on a lot of
Depends on like
different
how old
stuff these
the kid
days.
is.
When I was younger, I drank a lot, but that was just because of the people I was surrounded by. Drinking is still pretty prevalent. I'll tell you what is very prevalent though is cocaine.
Is it
Don't do
really
that,
still?
guys. No,
No,
fentanyl.
she's never gone away. She's just very known now. She used to be under the covers and now everyone knows about her.
Yeah, and pills and fentanyl. So
Fentanyl.
yeah,
Fentanyl.
coke is getting mixed with fentanyl, and so are pills and stuff. So
I'm
Ketamine.
sorry, who's that?
fentanyl.
Who are we talking about?
They said the kids these days.
I just got
They said
insight perspective
kids
here
aren't
from
as
a
much drinkers
14-year-old.
as they used to be. I think someone said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
so
thought you were
I
talking
just got
about a
perspective
specific
here from a
person.
14-year-old that she knows her older sister does drink, but it was more, it
Thank
sounds
you,
like not
Jason.
regularly partying just to be cool. You know, just tasting it to say she did kind of thing.
I mean, I'll go to a club for fun, but I'll also leave when I'm ready to, which is probably like 20 minutes in. I just want to go for fun, and then I'll leave. I go to those things alone. I
Well,
like to go to
Sailor Mom
concerts by
always said it
myself.
best about being the designated driver.
See, that's it.
I don't
There's
even
nothing
drive.
wrong
I
with going to a
just
bar. There's nothing wrong with that.
no. You
Once
don't have to
again,
drink. If you
I'm
moderation.
just
sorry, you
No.
can tell how late it's getting. I just said we could be the designated driver. Wow.
Yeah, I hate to interrupt here, but I've been reading some things, and it's really beginning to bother me. Drinking, and I mean, I'm sorry, driving and being epileptic. I mean, it seems like every third or fourth post I read, it's somebody talking about driving.
Yeah.
Them driving, I'm upset about not being able to drive, and I've had these episodes, and I crashed my car, and this person is maimed, but I should be able to get my driver's license because I didn't tell anybody, you know. And I mean, where are you people coming from? How can you live with yourself, even thinking about something like this? And I mean, I don't even read a lot of them because it bothers me so much. But I can't think of driving after just knowing that you're epileptic and you might have a seizure. How is that possible? I mean, I know they're out there, of course, they're out there. But when it's like every fourth or fifth post, somebody's talking about driving or having driven and going to drive, or when is my next chance to get my driver's license back. Does anybody else have a feeling?
I had a friend that kept like trying to push me to drive, and I kept being very like stern with them. Like, I'm not comfortable to drive. I keep having seizures. I'm not safe on the road for anyone else, and then it's going to be a involuntary vehicular manslaughter in the second degree that I don't want to do because I know I have a medical condition that I can't drive with, and it's just not safe for me to drive. And I'm using common sense, and I'm also being safe for everyone else on the road because when you're driving a car, you're driving a weapon.
I'll probably never drive in the city. People in the city can barely drive. So I'm not gonna drive around them. They're crazy. Maybe out in the like suburbs or it's nice out there. You could drive a pickup truck out there. Probably not kill anyone.
In the suburbs, I could see. But when you're talking about driving in the city, I mean, and okay, I've never driven. I've never driven. So maybe it's a lot easier for me to have holier than thou type of attitude. I don't know. I just don't get it. I just don't. And I've made some comments. I will say I have commented on some of those posts. And after reading them, it's like, where do you come off? Who do you think you are? But they're asking for opinions. So I gave my honest opinion.
I agree with you, Tom.
Yeah. But again, that's Tom 101, right? I need to start a novel, a textbook.
I'm one-on-one. The next one here says, anybody else just get used to not being taken seriously by doctors? I'm diagnosed with unspecified seizure disorder because, surprise, surprise, even the neurologist couldn't figure out the causes, and mine are apparently atypical. Either way, they are real, but I am used to the ER doctors not taking me seriously, even when I'm seizing in front of them because I'm apparently not what they used to seeing. I don't know. Either way, I know my truth and I just want dignified treatment. Is anybody else not being taken seriously by doctors? You just got used to it?
Annie.
I never got used to it. I just kept playing back.
I feel you.
I literally fought back. Like, but yes, they don't take you. They will do everything in their power not to take you seriously, especially if you have other illnesses, especially mental illnesses, or if you have a bad period like I do. They'll be like, oh, it's just your hormones, it's just your period. And they won't take you seriously. Or it's insurance, again, like I said, trying to play doctor, trying to make things cheaper. Healthcare not taking you seriously. They don't want to spend more money on that. They don't want to pay for this medication. And it's a game that you have to play, unfortunately. An unfair one.
Say that again.
So that's one of the reasons why I shaved my head a couple of times was
I
after I
shaved
had
my
my
head
last.
too.
Hey. So I did because of when I had my latest seizure, there was going to be like 8 months to go see a neurologist. So I shaved my head. That way everybody got to see the scar from my brain surgeries. Like, hey, this is serious. I need to be seen right away. So I walked into the doctor's office with my wife and showed the receptionist. I said, hey, just to let you know, I really need to be seen sooner. So they got me in within a few weeks.
Yep, it's
So that's
literally
why I did it.
it's like a little chess game that you have
Good
to play.
plan.
It's a total game you have to play, and you just get better at it as you keep going. It sucks,
Yeah.
but
That was my ace right there.
You're ace in a hole.
Yep.
Yeah, that was smart, Rick. I like that trick. Yeah, it's dark in here, otherwise I'd turn my camera on. But yeah, mine was the I'm so impressed with you, Lufa. I really am. I'm so glad you're here. Because I
Oh,
mean, here
thank
you
you.
are. I won't say how young you are, Lufa, but you are very wise, and I wish I had your energy a month ago, but I did okay. I had to literally put the accreditation of a level 4 epilepsy center on the platter in front of them and say, okay, I've been communicating with the National Association of Epilepsy Centers, you know, the people who say whether or not you can be accredited. And according to their regulations, these have been the problems for the last 5 years. Now we can either fix it or not. And I'll just walk away and carry on. Or we can move forward. And what happened to me was I moved to a new city and they took a 13-year diagnosis and treatment and said, no, this is wrong. You do not have epilepsy. You have PNES. We're not going to give you these medications. No, you're not going to do that. But they did. They gave me one of my medications back. And I just kept fighting and fighting for 5 years until a friend of mine who is a very, very incredible advocate told me this is what you do. And, you know, that's what I did and it worked. And I had to stop screaming and yelling. But man, Rick, shaving your head, that was ace. That's ace. I love it.
Yeah, the next one was actually kind of similar to that, but it says the neurologist sometimes
See
dismiss the
everyone.
epilepsy. Go ahead.
No, I'm out, everyone. Gotta go.
All right. See you later, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Nice talking to
Kevin.
y'all.
It was great
We'll
to
see you
you.
Friday.
I will see you Friday. All right.
Oh, nice. So this one says, do neurologists sometimes dismiss your epilepsy? I'm not sure how to explain this, but it super upsets me. I've had epilepsy since I was 9. I'm 37 now, and I've been on a few meds, but right now I'm on lamotrigine and pregabalin, as well as others for mental health and pain. Now, for some weird reason, neurologists and the therapist doesn't know a thing about the EPFGS. The neurologists and therapists are telling me pregabalin isn't an epilepsy medication. On the NHS website, it says it is. And I was given it years ago for my epilepsy. Not only that, but now a doctor and that same therapist are questioning if I have epilepsy at all. Apparently, I could just be having anxiety panic attacks because they look the same. Now I have anxiety and panic attacks, and not once have they felt like a seizure aura. They can trigger the seizures, but they're not the same. Recently, I've had a few seizures in my street, few seizures in the street, and all times someone called an ambulance. It was so embarrassing. I just wanted to hide. And one first responder actually asked to double check if it was in fact epilepsy. I'm so tired of having to explain myself to these professionals. Does anyone else have a problem explaining themselves to the neurologist? Can you tell me how to cope or deal with it? Because I am at a loss and it's making me not want to go to the doctor's or therapist's appointments now. I'm in the UK, if that helps.
okay, well, being in the US might be different, but Um, wait, I'm trying to think. Oh, I have PTSD and panic attacks as well, and anxiety attacks and social anxiety. So like, I wrap my face in lace sometimes, or I wear lace around my hair to make me feel less exposed, or I wear sunglasses or headphones when I go out. Um, but in the off chance that I have like a flashback or something and I have a um PTSD attack or a um panic attack, or I wake up from a panic attack during the night, it's a extremely different feeling from a seizure. Like it is just this, like, to me it's an extremely different feeling. It's a more feeling in my chest of like everything being like swirled up and ripped apart, and I can't get
Yeah.
it out. I'm confined to this one little space, and I'm scared and I can't breathe and I'm hyperventilating. Whereas a seizure, it's this aura of like, what is going on? And I'm like, I'm confused, but I'm like still there, and it kind of doesn't feel nice. It's just like fluffy and but like horrible fluffy. It's like hell, and it's just this weird aura. Or if it's myoclonic jerk, it's like being electrocuted. And if it's a seizure, then you're usually out of it completely. So it's completely different than a panic attack. It's just a fact of the health system being uneducated, and especially EMTs being uneducated, which isn't completely their fault. A lot of it's schooling.
It says, is anyone else just like really stupid? I was diagnosed with epilepsy in 2022 after a TC. I had 3 TCs in my life, and I'm currently 750 milligrams. And I feel like in the last 2 years, my cognitive abilities have been on a strong decline. Critical thinking skills are out of the window, and I don't even want to get started on memory, recollection, and retention. Was it a seizure? Is it the meds? Do I need to apply for MAID because I'm essentially doomed? I feel like I get worse and worse every day, despite my last seizure being January of this year. My friends have noticed I've gotten dumber, and at first it was fun, like little joke, but now they are beginning to get concerned. I had to drop out of the university because I couldn't understand my work anymore. I recently broke up with my boyfriend of almost 3 years, and I'm more heartbroken about the fact that I don't remember much of our time together rather than the breakup itself. I feel like I'll be forever stuck working in customer service. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I do love my job and the atmosphere of retail. I was on track to become a lawyer. I had everything. This disease has ruined my life. I wouldn't say I feel stupid, but then again, I'm 20 years in, so.
Um, yeah, it's hard because especially when you have multiple
and when you got everything going for
chronic
yourself.
chronics or grand mals or whatever they want to call them these days, I'm gonna call them grand mal. Um, it robs your brain of oxygen, and it's really hard because you can't decide if it's the seizure or the meds, you know,
Yeah.
but you're getting brain damage either way.
I really hate to say this, but I think a lot of what's going on is association. I mean, if you're associating with a bunch of people who have, that are on the outside of your mentality, of your being an epileptic, and they're not, so they're looking down on you. So that's going to give you a make you feel bad about yourself. I myself am surrounded by a lot of people that support me, understand my situation, and are there for me. Pretty much that's all I got to say. I mean, if we're going to surround ourselves with people that aren't willing to understand what our situation is, we're doing all we can to be the best person we can be, then that's all you're going to have are problems. And it's not that easy for everyone. I understand that. I'm a very fortunate person to be in the situation I'm in. And I just hope that you guys have a good support system. I know that was completely off track. I mean, I wasn't going there, but I went off track from the original question. I'm sorry.
When you first read it and you got to the 750 part, I thought you were gonna say pounds. It's like what I was expecting for a second, and it totally threw me off the entire thing. I was totally expecting you to say pounds. That was off topic, but I couldn't get that out of my head, and I just needed to. I'm glad that they did not have to get up to that weight value.
It says, is it just me or people don't take epilepsy seriously? I tell people I have epilepsy and they don't realize how serious it is and joke about it. I had to tell my boyfriend's cousin that it's not funny, saying, I'm gonna flash some lights on you and laugh. Like when I see flashing lights, I don't get seizures, but I try to avoid them because I'm scared that suddenly it could trigger it, even though that has never happened. My friends also think I purposely haven't gotten my license, and it's super frustrating because I don't want to drive and risk having a seizure while behind the wheel. So many people think it's funny to fake having seizures and often say, do the juice world. And it's so sad. Also, I saw a tweet that had a video of Charlie XCX, and it was flashing lights, and someone replied saying that shouldn't be allowed, and people replied saying they should accommodate for people with epilepsy. Like it's a huge public place. Why do they have the flashing lights?
Do the juice world? I've never heard that before.
Me either. Do the juice world? What does that mean? I don't even know what that means.
I don't know. You
What
lost
that
me.
means? I've never heard that before.
Luke,
Oh my gosh.
Lucy,
Juice world.
and she don't understand.
Maybe
So
he maybe he overdosed and had a seizure. I'm taking a wild guess because he rapped about drugs a
that was
lot.
that kid that died, that overdosed.
He was a rapper, and I think he overdosed and had a seizure, and like maybe it was filmed, and that's why they're saying it. That's my wild guess. I'm using context clues. I've never heard that before though. That's insane.
Is that kid, like that young kid that there was like a
He was like
documentary about?
27 or something.
Yeah.
23?
Was there
24?
like a Hulu thing about that? Was that?
I think there's always a documentary about someone nowadays. I think there was. He's like, he did All Girls Are the Same. He played that song. I listened to some of his music is good. He did die. Rest in peace.
I got one here. It says, my son was kicked out of preschool for having epilepsy. My son is 4. Was supposed to go to school, supposed to go to his first day of preschool this Wednesday. This morning we got a call from the school informing us that he would no longer be in the class. They said they weren't willing to accommodate his medical needs. Specifically, they refused to administer his rescue medication, which he's never needed to use so far, thankfully. We offered to provide professional training from a nurse. We offered to let them call 911 instead of using rescue medication if a TC lasted over 3 minutes. They flat out refused, not interested. They told us they didn't want to expose their other children to a scary seizure event. They didn't want to have a talk about seizures with the other kids. We enrolled him in June. They had months to work with us. They had months to tell us to F off, but they waited until 2 days before school to give him the boot. I'm crushed on top of all the pain and uncertainty of managing seizures, meds, and his keto diet, being told that my kid is unfit to have an education and is too traumatizing to be around his peers feels unbearable. It feels so cruel and heartless. We have an amazing co op preschool that we know we can go back to. They were there at the beginning of our journey, and we are loved there. We were excited that the new school would allow him to have nuts and let's out at noon. At the end of the day, it's not the biggest setback, but when is the universe going to hand us a win?
Now, I think I read something about this not too long ago where it was just passed. A law was just passed. And the schools aren't allowed to disqualify someone from going to school because because of a disability.
Wow,
Anyone
how
else
far
read
we've
that?
come.
I wouldn't know anything about disabilities in schools, but that's messed up.
That's
Like I
crazy
was
that
saying,
that's
I'm glad that I'm not saying I'm glad that I learned I had it when I was already in high school, but the good thing, well, not a good thing that it happened. I don't know how to put it. It's a good thing that it happened when I was in high school already because they couldn't be like, we can't accommodate him anymore, and I'm already a junior in high school.
Right.
I moved around a
Yeah.
lot. A lot of the schools actually told me that I was a behavioral problem and traumatizing the other students as well. Not for my epilepsy, but for my autism. But it's a very odd experience as a child.
I think that if I was to make a suggestion to that person, would be to get a hold of a lawyer
Hmm.
because I'm serious. I think I just read something about this recently that there was a win on a case that's been going on about a child being refused public education, and it went to school, went to court, and they won, and it was a big deal. So, but that's, I think they should go to a doctor, I mean, a lawyer, and
It's
talk
way
to a
more
lawyer, but there's
common than people
nobody.
would think.
Yeah,
It's like way more common than people would think.
yeah. But that's, I mean, to me, that's the only
It's
logical
like,
thing. To talk to people on Reddit isn't going to get you
no.
an answer of any sorts that I would think.
says it's hard for me to accept that I am epileptic. Any advice? I very rarely have seizures and I have no clue what causes them. I had one a couple days ago and it's finally setting in for me that this is an actual disability I have to live with. It has removed my potential job opportunities from me. I cannot drive a bus, taxi, ambulance, etc. And it has forced me to need to wait half a year before I can even get my license. It's just super upsetting to me that it feels like everyone else is able to do the things I can't do because of something wrong with my brain that I can't control. I also struggle with the fact that whenever I try to talk to people about it, I either get treated like a lost puppy and they say, "Oh, you poor thing," which is really annoying for me, or I get the whole lots of people have it worse than you do, so look on the bright side type vibe. Does anyone else have any advice for me? I would really appreciate any help. How can I better deal with the fact that this disorder is something that I have to accept? Thanks for reading all of that.
I think Angel's got something to say.
It's not easy. It's definitely, I don't know how old this person is, but they sound young. And I was diagnosed at 14. So it took some time. It took into my 20s. And I said it earlier, it's like, when I still wanted to drive regardless. And then that one big attack happened. That's when I finally accepted it. But it takes some time with like a pubescent mind. Is that the word? Pubescent? I don't know. To go into an adult mind, you know, or more mature mind. And I was having a conversation with Jeff on our Reddit channel versus young versus an older person too at the same time. Like I feel like an older person, it's harder because they are pretty much going through a hurricane all at once and they have to rebuild like right there. Whereas the young person has to learn adaptability right there, you know. But there's going to be like, you're not going to be like, you get your diagnosis and you're going to accept it, you know. There's going to be denial, there's going to be anger, there's going to be all types of things. And it's just part of the process that you got to go through it until you fully, and I think it happens differently for everyone. Like you realize this is just something you gotta accept.
That's me.
Alright.
I
Oh, go
pretty
ahead.
much said that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, you go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I'm a lot, I think I consider myself a lot different than a lot of epileptics. I've accepted my disability I live my life in total, I work. The only thing I don't do different, the only thing I do different than anybody else is I don't drive. And I don't allow things to bother me. But then again, I've been a witness. I mean, I've been epileptic for 50 years. And I've learned not to allow anything to interfere with it. I've got a good marriage. I live a fairly regular life.
I was gonna say that like I was just recently diagnosed like say 3 months ago, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, something like that. Somewhere in that time span, but I also had electroconvulsive therapy done, so that plays again a big part in it. But it for me has been a big like kind of a grieving process and an accepting process of like, because I thought getting a diagnosis was going to make everything better and fix everything, and then I got the diagnosis and everything was the same, except I just have a diagnosis now and some medication. So it's more of like it's been like a growing journey with it. I get frustrated still when people treat me like I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to my diagnosis, when I've been the one going through it and the one who's been proven right every time. It frustrates me to be like compared to a child still. And it's, I find it happening even within the community. Like, people say things that they don't realize come across as like
Condescending.
yeah, like I'm not offended necessarily, but I am a little bit like, all right, like if you get it so much, then why don't you get this part so much? It frustrates me because it feels like you're again placing something onto me or forcing me to be a certain way with my diagnosis because that's how you are with your diagnosis. That's how you learn with your diagnosis. That's how you fix your cognitive abilities with your diagnosis. That's how you teach people to learn in your life, in your job. But for me, since I was a child, it's been different for me, and that's fine. And I know that. And to continue to kind of like almost tell me that that's not correct and whatnot when I know it's correct because I know what I'm talking about, and at the end of the day, I'm confident in what I'm talking about because I know the way I learn and I embrace the way I learn. So part of what I'm doing now is embracing the fact that I have epilepsy and learning more about it and learning specifically about my type of epilepsy because that's the kind that I'm going to understand the most. Instead of
Good job.
forcing it onto people. That gets
Right.
frustrating and it's annoying when people think that they know more than you.
Right.
And it's
Right.
never a competition. It's never been a competition. It's never been who has it worse. It's always just been let's help each other out. But then when people try and force this specific cookie cutter way of certain things, it is frustrating and it shows you that in a way we're still set back as a society no matter what in many different ways.
good to hear you say that at that age.
That's it. Yeah. Very much so. Very much so. I really appreciate you because of your age and the amount of time that you've been a witness. I mean, guys, I gotta get this out of my head. The amount of time you've been an epileptic and you are so mature in that area. I really appreciate that. I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Keep it up. And remember, we're always here for you.
I appreciate it.
We're always here for you.
I appreciate it.
And
We
Lufa, I
appreciate
will
you.
tell you that it does get old. It does get better when you get a little
It
older.
does get better, yes.
Keep
Yeah, I'm
that
sure.
keep that confidence.
Yeah.
When I was in my 20s and I got into the job market, it was the confidence that opened doors. It was the confidence that had people listen. And I used to always wish that I had gray hair when I was earlier, because then I would get respect right away. But I realized it was the confidence that really did it. So,
That's
you know,
that's it.
you are extremely smart. You are well spoken. Keep that confidence, and you're going to find so
Thank
many
you.
doors open for you, and you're going to find you're going to get really far in life with that. And I'm
Thank
trying
you. I
not to tear up
appreciate
as I'm
that.
saying it, but you know, seriously,
Rick,
you
that
know,
was
No,
head
it's
you
on.
got
okay.
it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That was spot on, Rick.
I appreciate
on.
that a lot. I don't have a lot of people in my life that I talk to or know a lot about my illness and whatnot, so it's nice to be heard.
Well, that's why we're here, so you do have someone to talk to.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I don't know what I would have done without Pokey starting this group.
Welcome to the family, Loopy.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, I wish I thought like you when I was 20. Might be a
Well,
little better off now.
it's gone. It's been a lot of. I was not always this way, so
Oh, okay.
don't worry. It was a lot worse before. And I was very ignorant to epilepsy before I knew I was epileptic. So, and I'm not afraid to admit that either. I was very ignorant to chronic illness. And then when I started experiencing it, I was like, oh shit, this is a really real thing. So it's just about properly learning how to spread awareness without, it's a tricky mind game of trying to figure out how to do it properly, because unless you really have it, you don't truly understand it. So the only way of
Exactly.
getting it through to someone's head is to explain it in a way that they will understand it, they will relate to it
Yes.
by being
And
Exactly.
empathetic and
epilepsy,
sympathetic.
everyone,
That's it. That's
epilepsy
it.
is like a fingerprint, you know?
Hmm.
Everyone is different. It can't be put all in the same
Basket.
category, you know?
Right.
Next one says how to deal with people not taking your restrictions seriously. For example, not driving. I got diagnosed with epilepsy recently after having my first seizure last year, and until we are sure what the cause is and can make sure my seizures are totally controlled with meds, my neuros have obviously banned me from driving. My family is starting to think I'm abandoning them because they all live over an hour away and I'm not able to drive and visit them anymore. And they refuse to come visit me since I live in a city with a remote. Oh, live in a city with a roommate. They all think my reasons for not driving are weak. You'll be able to tell if you're about to have a seizure and just pull over, right? You've only had 2 or 3 seizures in the last year. Why can't you bathe? That's stupid. I'd be bathing anyway. You can't let epilepsy control your life. Yeah. Then it says, yeah, totally let me just casually risk my life. My doctors totally don't know what they're talking about, and neither do I. I'm just making my life exponentially harder for no reason. How dare I let my life altering disorder alter my life? So, how do you deal with people not taking your restrictions seriously? Was the question.
I mean,
Yeah, how do
time
you
to
deal
find
with
new
it?
friends. But I think it's one of those things where
They can come
education,
find out.
right? They could come find
They can
out.
come find out in the car with me.
Yeah, there's
Let's
YouTube
go from there.
videos you can show them. There's all sorts of educational ways, and maybe even let them, if you got a nanny cam, show them what a seizure looks like from yourself or from other people. I feel like if they were really friends, that they would understand and learn.
I had a friend that looked up seizures and how to properly help someone going through a seizure completely unprovoked, not me asking them to do that or anything, just because they wanted to make sure they were prepared in case something were to happen. And I think that just speaks very loudly to who you surround yourself with. I'm making Pop-Tarts, so I'm gonna go get those.
Yeah. Pookie's home alone, so you guys are Pookie sitting at the moment. I got one here. It says, does anyone feel like a burden? My epilepsy is back after 12 years, and everyone seems to be on edge and scared around me now. I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable. Does anyone feel like a burden? Is the question.
I think I can speak for a lot of us where that feeling comes on a lot of times where we feel like we're burdening our loved ones, and you know
Yeah.
I
Did you have something
I
else?
forgot what else, but yeah, we feel like we're the burden, and we take on that guilt.
Yeah.
I
Tom,
feel
you
like
muted.
I'm sorry again.
Oh.
I'm sorry, thank you. Yeah, my wife picks me up and drops me off at work. No matter what's going on in her life, she drops the ball and comes and does that. When I go out in the ministry with my brothers and sisters, they have to come pick me up and drop me off at the end of the day. Let me see what other things. Everything that we need to do, go shopping or whatever, my wife does it. There's a lot of things that our significant others or parents or friends do for us that make us. I can speak for myself. We're all different. These are things that, yes, I feel are a burden to other people.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, like sometimes just has me thinking, like, per se, my living situation, I feel like I wouldn't be able to live here if I didn't have epilepsy. You know what I mean? Like, sympathy stay. But maybe that's just me, just how I think. Yeah, I'm already treated like epilepsy isn't a big deal, so I'm over that part.
Not being able to drive is probably where I feel the most guilt.
Rick?
Yeah.
So, we get this asked weekly because it's a big problem for people that they feel like they're a burden. And so like I'm unique in that I was the one who did everything. So I feel bad that I can't, but at the same time, people around me keep reminding me that I used to take people everywhere. I used to take care of this. I used to bring people to doctor appointments. I used to make the doctor appointments, all these things. So, everybody around me is like, remember you did all this for us. Now it's our turn. So I think a lot of it has to do with understand what you used to do for people and allow them to serve and be there for you, first of all. Second of all, what can you do? Can you help clean? Can you help clean other people's places? You're getting a ride from your neighbor. Can you help the neighbor bring in their groceries? Can you help the neighbor with their yard? Things that you can do it. And it's favor for favor. Yes, you give me rides to the doctor. Yes, you give me rides everywhere, but I'm helping take care of your cat. I'm helping take care of your yard. So I think there's a lot of think
Give
of
and
all the
take.
give and take that you're able to do, and then that should allow you to feel less of a burden.
It does take some of the burden off. It does. It does. But it again, I'm speaking for myself.
Yeah, it's hard.
You know, it's hard. It's hard. Even though you
'Cause I
do
still
that, but
apologize to
Rick,
my
that
cousin.
was spot on. I appreciate that. Good job.
Even though like I help clean the dishes and stuff around the house and whatnot with my mom, I still apologize when she drives me places that are farther or stuff like that. That if I could drive, I would do it myself. Or if we go on like a trip together, we would definitely switch off. But I can't. Oh, cookies and cream. I'd like to heat it up in the toaster. But
Oh, Lufa, did you ever have your driver's license or did you find out before that?
no, it was we knew before that. We knew something was wrong before that.
So you
So
just stopped
before
driving or you just didn't?
I never went for it. I never felt safe enough to go on the road, and I was always taught growing up that if you're driving a vehicle, you're driving a weapon because other people are on the road, and a small vehicle crash can lead to a bigger thing. And even if you have a seizure while behind the car, that's a big deal. What if you kill somebody's child? That's a huge deal. That's a huge risk to take. And
It
that's one
sounds
that
like your
I'm
mom
just
like super like instilled in you to like follow your instincts, which is like really
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah,
we
I
are all
was
God's
just
children.
yeah, I have my own relationship with the universe, and I was raised by just my mom, and so she raised me to be independent and to fight for my side to be heard.
That's really
And
awesome to hear.
I'm definitely a fighter, so
That's awesome to hear because like I think like I don't know about the rest of you guys because you might be in a slightly different generation than me, but I don't know if it was different, but we were just like taught like everything's dangerous, but at the same time like parents were never around, so you kind of just were taught like everything's dangerous, adults are in charge, so you have to do whatever they say. And you just like basically were taught to not follow your instincts. So it's like really good to hear. I don't know if that's common like in your demographic, like generally, or if that's just true of your mom, but it's really great to hear that
I
just
think
from one person.
my mom and I just had a different upbringing than I think most people in general, and it's really just been me and my mom. So we're like, and people say it's unhealthy, which I'm sure in some ways it gets a little too toxic at times, but not in like a way where it affects either one of us like so drastically that we hate each other. We've never gotten in a huge argument. She's never raised her voice at me. She's just very gentle parenting, very aware of my needs. My biggest like she fights on my side. So she's like my best friend. We talk about everything together. I'm very comfortable telling her my thoughts and my feelings on things. And that's something that a lot of people like aren't really gifted enough to have, which I wasn't planned at all. I don't have a dad at all. So it's literally just me and my mom. It's only her on my birth certificate. So, um, it really was just her choice to be a good parent, and she chose to be a good parent, and it wasn't easy because she's a single parent, and that's not easy to be a single mother for anyone. It's not easy to be a woman. And so it's not easy to raise a child with autism and undiagnosed seizures. So she did it the best way she could, and she did a killer job at it. I have a lot of trauma and a lot of shit and a lot of baggage, but it could have been a whole lot worse. She could have like gone to drugs or taken her life or something like that, but she chose to be a mother, and that's the best thing you could ask for.
I'm so very, very happy that things are turning out the way they are for you. I mean, yes, it sounds like you do have a lot of things going on in the background, but you seem to have your head on really good. And
Yeah.
keep it up, girl.
Yeah,
Good
I think a
job.
lot of us wish that we had like your mom and your like
Yeah.
chutzpah.
Yeah.
Got something else here. It says, can epilepsy medication alter personality? So this is basically how the title says, can epilepsy medication alter one's personality? Whenever we got into a fight, whenever we got into a fight, I had to be the one to relent because they have epilepsy. I have been told that it's not fair. It's not their fault for being immature and a hard person to deal with. Their medication makes them unable to understand some things. It makes them basically act childish. And no matter how much you explain something to them, they will see themselves as the victim in everything and won't accept any of your advice. When I push back on how such notion and that they are stifling their progress as a person, I was told that I'm not a doctor and my sibling would be much medication affect my sibling, or maybe the illness itself is affecting her. I'm trying to understand this. I'm sorry if I made some mistakes with my spelling. Can the medication alter personality?
Yes. In my point of view, yes. Depending on the medication. Well, we have Keppra raids for number one. That's I think that's the most common. But they all have things, what's the word I'm thinking of?
Side effects?
Side effects. Thank you so very much. And yes, they do alter your personalities. I don't think that was a very difficult one.
Yeah, that's an easy one. I agree
100%.
with that. I don't know about anybody else, but also like people talk about Keprage, but I think Lufa mentioned this too, but Keppra, I'm on it right now because of course I went in and they upped my dose. Yay, diagnosis. But it's been like making me weirdly depressed. I don't know how, I think they mentioned how old they were, but who's gonna remember? They're young and oh man, that must fuck with your brain. I can't imagine that. Yeah, Keppra, for example, makes me like really depressed and like I'm not a suicidal person, but it gets me at points like so low that I'm like, oh, like there's just no hope. So I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
and
I should get off of it.
it's like this weird like depression of like I know it's the medication, but it just feels so awful that I'm just ready for all of it to end. And it's like it's so dangerous because it feels like at any moment you're just ready to just be done with it all. And I've read that people have like a wife and kids and like their family has been like threatened because of being on Keppra. and how it has affected their personality and how it's changed them so much. So it definitely can, because for me, I'm changing onto whatever it's called right now, because the Keppra depression is like, and I have bipolar 1 and borderline personality disorder, so I know like what it's like to be like, going around and stuff like that, but I don't have like severe depression. So this is like a different low for me. And it's one that's like so low that I don't even like know what I'm holding on to at this point.
Yeah, that's saying what you said about like it feels like it is the medication. It's like you can just feel the medication rather than yourself being depressed. Oh,
Yeah.
and he brought up a good point too of like, aside from the medication, like sometimes after a seizure, like I used to think that everybody would get a new personality every couple of months when I was younger. Like when I was younger than Lufa, like, and then like continuing into my adulthood, like it just seemed like every 3 months I would get a new personality. And it was very strange feeling like the whole world just felt different. So it could just be also just seizures.
I think I have a personality disorder, but it could be seizures. I think I just have a personality disorder though.
That could be part of it also. I agree with that.
Is it
I
common to have hallucinations when you've been diagnosed with epilepsy? I would like to hope that I am not alone and that anybody else experience hallucinations due to your medication and possible side effects. It sometimes feel like I am high on weed and acid at the same time. Also, what's the scariest, happiest hallucination, visibly or audibly, that you have ever experienced? Anyone going through any hallucinations that they can explain?
Yeah, I'll take this one first. So I have like very clear a pathway of my seizures as we can tell, like so far as we can tell, that it starts in the occipital lobe, goes over to the parietal lobe, which means it starts as like a simple hallucination and then it jumps to like a carousel of images, which are kind of fun and as Pookie and Angel have sat through with me, sometimes not that fun. Um, but it's not from the medication though for me, so I don't know if that's going on with this person. But I used to tell people who were telling me I was having panic attacks, I was like, no, this feels like I'm on fucking acid, and I love acid. You don't have to cut that. It's awesome, but it didn't feel like fun acid, and acid is always fun. So yeah, this person is like spot on. But if it's a medication, change it.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
I've never had any hallucinations on my medication. No, that's I hear that a lot. People having hallucinations from their medication side effects. I'll have to admit that's not one I've had.
I see more like staticky things. Like the world's always a little bit staticky, I guess.
I had
Um,
auditory.
yeah, I get auditory. Like, um, sometimes I feel like I hear something, not like someone talking to me, but like something. It's hard to describe, but it feels like something's like there in your ear, and it also feels like it's in your ear, and it's very annoying. It's not like I know that there's not something in my ear, but it just feels like I can't get the sound of it out of my ear or my brain, and it's like really, really annoying and really frustrating, and it's hard to sleep. Um, Other than that, I just sometimes I have conversations with myself.
It says, how do you calm
Yeah,
down? I've been
yeah,
on
not
Kepler and
people.
it makes me anxious as hell and angry. I just feel the urge to do something, but I can never find anything that is calming other than cleaning my room. I've cleaned every single corner. I can't find anything else to do. There's no walkable areas. I have no job. I've done all my school assignments. I can't find any good movies or anything on my phone at all. I have low attention span. What do y'all do normally when you want to calm down? I am having one of those Kepper Rage episodes and I hate it.
Tom,
Yeah.
you know how to calm down on Kepra?
No. I don't think I've got a Kepper rage like I hear a lot of people talking about. My wife says I get angry from time to time. I might say things that are cocky. I even ask people at work about whether or not I'm aggressive in my speech and action. And they say, yeah, sometimes. But I mean, from what I understand, this what people talk about with Kepler rage, where they go on, they get upset, they throw things, they do things. I'm
Kepra's the
sorry.
only one. Kepra's the only one that I was thinking, what would it be like if I just walked into traffic?
That's that. Now that's something Tracy always had a
That's the
concern about with
worst thing
me,
ever.
is walking into traffic. Although
That's why
you
I
walk
don't
into
go on
people's homes.
walks.
I had that feeling when I had one of my worst seizures in college and I didn't know. I told my roommate, I just want to run out into traffic. And she told me I was
Yeah.
having a panic attack. It was very nice, actually, because I just sat down and passed out.
My like if I'm like suicidal, my impulsiveness in me is like a 50-50 thing. So like usually it's run out into traffic. So I recognize that on Kepra, anytime I walk outside of the house and by the street, I'm like, I kind of want to run into traffic right now. Like Kepra just like is just like it's almost like it's talking to me like, come on, like you're on this, like run into traffic, like I'm already helping your seizure, so just do something fun, run into traffic. And I'm like, why? Like that makes no
Yeah.
sense right now. Like we're fine though. What's going on? We're supposed to be moving and everything. Like why are we running into traffic? So it's definitely something. It does something. I don't like what it does though. I only like that
And
it stops the seizures, but I almost don't like that it stops the seizures at the same time.
I like the fact with Kepler that it does. Kepler works for me. Um, it doesn't make me depressed. It doesn't make me overly anxious. Uh, the reason I'm actually thinking about going with Excapre is because it will be something different. I'm afraid of making that change because of the fact that I will probably have seizures while making the change, going through the changes.
Do they just want to change you because you're having anger on Kepra?
No, because I have had seizures lately.
Has anybody oh, go ahead.
And also because of the Keppra, where I supposedly have some anger issues.
Pepper did not work for me, and all they wanted to do was increase the dose. And I was finally taking all Keppra, when I reached 4,000 milligrams.
That's where I'm at,
Um,
4,000.
And it was very hard to control that anger at work. Like I remember telling my wife at times I can feel it building up. And at work it was really hard to like work with other people with trying to control that. And it was just really, really hard to do that. And it was not stopping the seizures. The breakthroughs happen, and then once the breakthroughs happen, you know, it's like 2 weeks later, another seizure, and then it starts getting faster and faster, more grand mals and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the thing with Kepra with me is, I mean, I work in a customer service type of position. I deal with some strange situations from time to time where I could get quite upset. When I've got my reins on, you know, I've got it under control. But I mean, maybe internally I'm ready to go off, but I have it under control enough to where I don't speak what's on my mind.
Do you
So I
mind me
feel
asking if you have like pre-existing mental health conditions?
no, not that I'm aware of.
Okay. That's probably why it may be a little, Kepra may be a little easier for you to manage versus some pre-existing mental health conditions.
Right.
Like for me with BPD and bipolar, I already have that like unstable emotional balance in my brain. And so adding something like Kepra onto it where the serotonin and dopamine in my brain is extremely like all over the place.
Yeah, that
It
seems
really,
like it would be quite a deadly
yeah,
mix.
it is. Yeah, it is. So, but it would make sense for it to help someone who doesn't have
Right.
something pre-existing like that. So I don't think that Keppra necessarily has to be the worst drug in the world if you're like have a good mental health record and stuff like that, where it's not something that has dawned on you so vigorously throughout your life.
And see, I would like to talk to my neurologist to find out what other options are there that are in the same category as Keppra. Because as we know, there's 40 other different anti-seizure medications, but they are all in separate categories.
I think Briviac is one, and I think Benpat may be another one.
So I would like to find out which ones.
They just switched me on to Braviac, so I can let you know how that goes as I
Brainiac.
Braviac. Brainiac though, we can call it Brainiac. I call PNES penis, but that's just me.
That's amazing.
Hey, that's
But
why I
so
call those
yeah,
doctors dickheads. Just saying.
I want to be able to get this category of medications that Keppra falls into, so that I can do some research myself. And then when I go in to see my neurologist, ask him, could you please go over these with me and explain to me which one would work for me and why? I could also look at the side effects myself and maybe pick a few out.
I made
Then
a Reddit post about how the Keppra was affecting me, and a lot of people responded about Breviact and how it's basically the same thing as Keppra, but without such intense side effects, especially like the mental ones. So I'm really hopeful about that. They also mentioned a lot about vitamins. So getting bone density scans if you can, or doing a lot of calcium intake, the healthy amount, of course, but making sure that you're like B12, B6, B9, whatever, are all at good levels, because that's also that can take a really big impact on your body.
right. That reminds me, I have to get some blood work done. That is on a schedule that I have to make plans to go and have this done before my appointment. I didn't know that. See, because medications I'm on, I don't need to have blood work done. But I've been on this. Now you guys know what it is called. It's the generic Keppra, the Bidakayacum, blah 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 blah
The
blah.
levocorastatasirpan.
That's the one, yes. So that's the Keppra that I'm on.
Levitate.
And I call
I'm gonna call it levitate.
levitate. There you go. We're levitating. But so yeah.
Annie is levitating right now.
So
Keppra is the
Aw.
only one that I like thought about, like I said, thought about walking in traffic. But one time I had a seizure, and I'm guessing it was like 15 years ago. So now I'm guessing it was focal unaware, because I wouldn't say conscious, but I guess conscious, and I wasn't myself. And they said I was threatening to jump over the balcony, and they called the police, and I woke up in what they used to call the crazy house. They call the psych ward now. Yeah, so that's where I woke up at. And when I came to, I'm just wondering, like, why am I here? And why am I cuffed to this chair? And why are these people screaming? And yeah, some people were there because they were withdrawing. Some people were there because they really threatened to commit. I don't remember. They just said I just threatened that, and once I explained it to them, I was like, "You guys, I had to have a seizure because I don't remember any of this." So yeah, eventually I went home. But inside that psych ward, oh man, everyone's just screaming and screaming, and people are screaming, telling the other people to stop screaming. And there's people screaming just to scream, people screaming because they're sick and they're going through it. And it was all sorts of just, we don't use the word, it was all sorts of crazy. We don't use those words now, but it was wild experience.
No, the psych ward is nuts. I've been to the psych ward probably 20 plus times, and it is literally a madhouse depending where you go. It is a madhouse sometimes. And a lot of times it's the staff that don't do anything, and you're like,
Right,
what are you
because
doing?
the
What
staff
if
is
they
sitting
had
right
me?
there. They're
They had
looking
me
at
lead a
us through a
group.
glass, and they're not doing anything. They're just sitting there looking at everybody scream and doing their work like nothing's happening. There's a room full of 30 people, and everyone's screaming, and not everyone, but most of them are screaming and going through things.
I was on the phone with my mom because you got like 5-minute phone calls on these little like jail-like phones. And I could barely hear her. We're like a minute into the call, and this girl comes up to me, and she'd been a little off the entire time, and so I was like a little wary of her. And she comes near me, and I'm like, okay. And she's like a leopard in the night. I look at her one time and she's like all the way over there. I look away and I'm like, there's this weird girl by me, Mom. And then I look again, she's right there and she starts biting my arm. And I was like, okay, Mom, I gotta go. Like, this girl is biting my arm right now, so I'll call you tomorrow. But the psych ward can be a little,
Party.
yeah, it's like I don't know. It's a nice view of different life. It's really cool if you think about it in a educational way.
Especially if you're not supposed to be there. It's cool then, but when you're supposed to be there, it's not cool. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, we've been here 9 hours and let's keep going. Plenty more, plenty more.
Pookie, have
It's,
you eaten anything?
Yep. I don't think you noticed earlier.
Anyway, I've got to go. I need to eat some. I haven't eaten all day. So this is great, and we're definitely going to do it again. I'm working Friday, but again, I'll be home at 7:30. So I'll stop
Can't
in
wait to
again.
see you.
I think we'll have
And
another day too.
what we have to do, because of my schedule, and because it's all about me, is we have to move this day. So I'm teasing everybody.
Okay,
but-
Tom. Let's move to Tom Day. What day is it?
Yeah, okay, let's have a Tom Day. It's been real. Talk to you soon.
Nighttime.
Yes, it's been real.
Good night, Tom. See ya.
Good night.
Oh, I love hearing Annie chime in.
Oh, hey, I'm half asleep, man. I'm just chilling. It's midnight 30.
And yes, it
He
is.
sounds like she's all asleep.
Well,
late.
2 doses of Feco and a whole bowl. I'm doing good.
Right.
This is Delta talking for her.
So, one here. Do you ever regret telling your neurologist or epileptologist something? Just got something that randomly crossed my mind. I told my neurologist an episode I had 2 years ago where I was in the sun, 30 plus Celsius, and I had a paranoia episode, which can be related to epilepsy because heat is a trigger for me. Now, each time we have an appointment, the first thing he asks, no more paranoid episodes since we last spoke. And I have to remind him it's because of the heat and I don't go out in the sun like that at all now. So, any random things you regret telling your neurologist? Personally, no.
I regret
Hi.
telling anything to my neurologist. She sucked, man. If she's listening, Pookie, don't cut this. She knows she sucks. You know who you are.
I
Maybe
kind of
the-
regret saying the depression, but at the same time, the only reason I regret it is because I didn't want to be on an SSRI, but
Yeah,
I think
I
at
mean,
that time I needed it.
I don't know if I regret telling my neurologist that I have PTSD and stuff, but I dissociate a lot, but I don't know if that's like seizures or if I'm dissociating or what. I don't know what. So I just dissociate and do it, and that's just it. But I don't know what else to do about it. So
Yeah. So now, yeah, neurologist. I had mine for so long. There's nothing I could do to lie to him. He'd take MRI and do that. anyone here prone to mystical peak type experiences? What raises this question for me is in researching an author I love, Dostoyevsky, I found that he had epilepsy and a lot of his thoughts and experiences align with mine. I found he would experience ecstatic moments before his episode. I have this sensitivity peak, mystical type experiences, these flashes of perfection, like the universe is about to let me in on some huge secret and it's suddenly withdrawn. Other triggers are the wind will blow or change of season, triggering sensuous, it's a Russian word, or this awful ping of homesickness and longing. Moments in and out of time, as T.S. Eliot put it. What also makes me curious if I've had some sort of seizure activity is two things in hindsight. In my early 20s, and much less so, I would be somewhere and get this absolutely flooring sensation of I dreamed this and I'm living it now, over and over. Random, non important scenarios like having a predetermined life. Lastly, I have this obsessive preoccupation with religion, partly due to these experiences explained as mythical, partly like it's forced on me and I can't think of anything else. What makes it strange is I remember that one day when trialing trepilepto, trilepto for a mood
Trileptal?
disorder. Trileptal, okay. Medications. This word is it looks insane. Trileptal, and I lost where that was. This is crazy. Okay, yeah. While trialing trileptal for a mood disorder, we've yet to fully figure out. All this stopped in an instant. My whole personality and my obsessive itch and preoccupation turned into silence. I sat there in shock in the first few initial days as all I thought about for years turned to dust. I say all that to say, does this resonate with anyone or am I that batshit crazy? LOL. I can't say it's all terrible. These flashes, glimpses, whatever, are so powerful. I'd trade my life to experience these split seconds in some linear fashion. Even if it was only 10 seconds, I'd trade it all. But being let into perfection and kicked out immediately takes an enormous emotional toll. I'm not sure if I'm just melancholic and romantic.
Melancholic?
Um, Melancholic,
Melancholic? Like melancholia?
Melancholic.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, melancholic and romantic by temperament. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm just melancholic and romantic by temperament, or if there's more going on. But looking back, I suspect there's more going on that I've missed. That was a lot to read. Is anyone prone to mystical peak experiences?
Yes. I spoke to the EMU doctors about this and they called it post-ictal hyper-religiosity. And I am non-theistic, like hardcore. Respect to everybody who is theistic. But that's just not me. And that lasted a good 6 months and I found it very embarrassing. But it helped me get a diagnosis, strangely enough. I also get euphoric seizures, and that kind of sounds like similar to what this person is getting. Like they're saying like they love them. So I can identify with that, and I think it's the seizures. I don't think that this person necessarily, I mean, I guess maybe it's a disorder since it's in like a problem in your life, but maybe you need your meds adjusted. Maybe you don't though if you like them. I mean, do what you gotta do.
Yeah. That one's rough. But this one says, yeah, that is rough. I'm sitting here still thinking about that. And
If I feel too good, I start to feel like an aura, but it doesn't feel good. I feel like no seizure aura ever feels positive or mythical for me, or mystical at least. I feel like for me, it always feels like I just want it to go away. Even if I listen to a song that's like, that makes me too happy, I'm like, I can't listen to this right now because I'll feel it too much. I don't like the way I feel it too much. I don't know if that's related to the seizures though.
It is. It definitely
Oh.
is. Especially if you're like, I can't listen to that song. I mean, I'm like
I'd like
putting on
it's
music videos to like turn off the meds and it works.
well,
But
that's
it
why I
makes me
like
feel
to.
bad, man.
That's why I like to listen to like my creepy podcasts and shit because like I don't get like super scared by it and it doesn't make me super happy either. So it's just like chill and like laying back and I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. Or like with history, like, okay, chill, interesting. But when
Dude,
it comes
Let's
to
Read
like
is
music, Let's Read is so good. And Nexpo, I've been rocking with Nexpo. Sometimes. He came out with the Nexpo something at night. I don't know. Something it was on Spotify. Late nights with Nexpo. I liked that podcast. It was good.
yeah, it's just when you forget you leave it on and then you come back and you just are like, and then her head was laying in the corner. Like, who's talking? What the fuck?
I'm like, wait a minute. I missed it. I missed the segment. Anyway, I have to go because I'm tired.
understandable.
So I'm gonna
That's
go.
late.
Yeah,
Okay,
You've
it
been
was
here.
good to meet you.
it was great to meet you all.
You've been here almost 10 hours with us.
Damn.
I don't know.
Get some
This is
sleep.
awesome. Thank you. You guys too. So good night.
See you
It's
Friday.
great to meet you.
Yeah. Good night. Good night, guys.
The next one is auras and childhood trauma. I was wondering if auras can mix with childhood traumas. Like I keep getting these auras and they feel like I'm getting triggered by most random things, and it feels like the triggers come from parallel universes. But I know also trauma can do this. Can it mix together? Let's say I always get triggered by certain industrial areas. Can that be a mix of aura and actual triggers? Why does my brain have triggers to weird things like environmental areas? Also, my brain keeps repeating this parallel universe of what feels like me experiencing some form of organized abuse as a child. And I have genuinely suspected this, but the things that comes, they don't feel like memories. They feel like auras and these things from other universes. Like my brain somehow has a weird, deep underlying knowledge of organized abuse and horrible, horrific things. And my brain also keeps like repeating this feeling of that I was a victim of something like CSAM or something. But the stuff it feels more like auras. Can auras come up as fake things that are actually fake experiences or real underlying traumas?
I don't know what an aura is.
Uh, I've been told that I had auras, but I can't exactly explain it.
CSAM, by the way, I just looked up is trigger warning. Child sexual abuse material, I think.
Ooh,
I don't know. That's what's coming up.
okay. Yeah. So childhood trauma is a thing.
I don't know about anybody else, but Yeah, that happens for me, and you get a really terrible feeling. I wonder if that's the flip side of euphoria. But I tend to think everything is part of a seizure because that's how it feels. So, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to go to therapy for that in any case, though.
Frustration as a trigger. Can anyone else relate? My partner and I were doing crosswords around 10:30 p.m., sharing screens over Discord. My brightness was down. I'm constantly conscious of what level it's at, just in case. And I'm constantly, and I got so frustrated at a word I was trying to figure out for at least 20 minutes that I started seizing, which is embarrassing. What's weird is I was conscious the entire time and it lasted about 20 to 30 seconds. I remember feeling and seeing the pillow I was laying on while my head pushed up into it, and I could hear my partner worriedly asking me to say something to her every few seconds. I've never experienced a conscious seizure before, let alone one set off by frustration. I sometimes have petit mal clusters when I'm tired, very excited or stressed, but nothing like this. Can anyone relate? I would just like to not feel alone. Um, I haven't had frustration lead me to a seizure so far. Advice for this person: I say avoid situations like that. Oh, but then again, the person said it was like crosswords, so
I don't know. We weren't allowed to play board games in our house because everyone got pissed off. R.I.P. Monopoly.
for me, it's frustrating. I feel like I can't succeed in work or even do better. My mild cognitive impairment and short long term memory loss makes me feel like I can't do better. I have issues with memory loss, critical thinking, logic problem solving, and it's even hard for me to write down stuff because I forget and or my critical thinking skills don't really get the message. I feel like I'll never succeed. It's such a burden. Can anyone else relate?
Oh, can you repeat that one?
Not really. Go
Okay.
again? Say something?
Something?
Rick said repeat it.
Oh, um, does anyone else feel like they can't succeed with epilepsy? Should I read the whole post again?
No, I think we need Rick in on this one.
What would you tell this person, Em?
I don't know what they want to succeed at. That's hard, and I don't know how old they are. I don't want to give them some generic advice.
Anything is better than nothing.
Okay, let's see. Just ignore it. That sounds stupid, but sometimes I just ignore it and just keep going. And sometimes it doesn't work for people. Like if you're having seizures while you're trying to ignore it, obviously don't do that. Go get your meds adjusted, I guess, if you can. Um, I don't know. Have a euphoric seizure. That'll pick you up.
Possibly.
Pookie's picking the hard questions for us today.
Yeah, I dug deep for these ones.
Let's do some softballs.
Has anyone ever used your memory against you? For the record, I'm aware of the fact that this is poor and inexcusable behavior. However, I would like to know if anyone has encountered a similar situation. Over the years, one of my family members has tried to cover up their bad behavior by saying, you don't remember correctly because of your seizures, or something similar to discount my recall of traumatic events. Anyone else experience this behavior? Yeah. I had someone tell me, you don't remember that. And I was like, yes, I do. And they were just like, you can barely remember when this happened. I had to tell you this. And using that against me. How do you remember that? You couldn't even remember this. And so on. So Been there, been
That's,
through
you
that.
gotta get a nanny cam so you can show them that footage, and then they'll really get it.
Oh, I got one. So
I get the same treatment, Pookie. It's like you can remember some stuff, then they definitely get at you when you can't remember the stuff that they're telling you.
yes.
And they get pissed at it because it's like you
Someone
can't remember this, but you can remember this.
someone said I have selective memory. I remember what I want to remember. And
It's not even selective memory. It just happens, you know.
I wish I had good
Like we're
memory.
not selecting it. We're not in control.
They wouldn't believe that.
Just let us. We're having epilepsy. Come on, give us a break.
Right. It's the least you can do is give us a break.
We're not in control of memory. It comes when it comes. Sometimes it's a key word that will dig it. It's like, oh, I remember that.
I'm scared. I really don't know what to do or where to turn. I feel so alone, yet I'm never alone, but I'm not allowed to be. I'm a wife and a mother. March of this year, I had my first ever seizure, a grand mal. No warning, no signs, no nothing. I've had one a month since then, split my head open in the most recent one this month. Still haven't seen a neurologist or had any tests or diagnosis. I've been put on 3 different medications and they didn't work. A couple of hours after taking each, I would go completely crazy, couldn't control my mood. All of them gave me horrible side effects. I'm sensitive to meds. Doctors took me off my antidepressants in the middle of this and put me on Lamictal. Side effects are not like the others. It's tolerable since the first seizure. Everything has changed. I can't be alone. I can't go anywhere alone. I can't walk, swim, shower, shop, basically everything. All of my independence and space from everyone is just gone. And to make it worse, I'm not allowed to drive anymore for a few years. It's like the carpet was pulled from up under me and hovering. I don't remember any of the seizures. I can't talk properly because I forget my words. My memory is shit. Normal everyday words just gone. Can't remember when I need to. No actual diagnosis as of yet. My mood could be fine for a few hours and then I start getting upset at everything and cry nonstop, feeling sorry for myself and lashing out at everyone I love. I don't mean to, but I just feel so bad for myself. And then I feel bad that I upset them when they're only trying to help me. I feel lost like no one understands, worrying when the next one might be, while 1,000 other thoughts are going around in my mind. I can't digest or process. Is this my life now? Will it ever be the same as before these horrible seizures?
I'm not a mother, but I was a stay-at-home father, and it it's really tough. The first year was really scary with my daughter. Like I didn't even want to get near a step. Um, there was a whole bunch of things, and she's still my pride and joy. But yeah, it's tough. Life isn't the same, but at the same time, the kids I think change you and they make you better. You know?
Oh, I think, can you hear me, by the way?
Yep.
Okay. So I think, what I've said before is you got to look at positives that you have going on. I totally understand. Feels like the rug's been pulled out from under you, and you got to look at here's the pluses, and hopefully surround yourself with people who understand you and also people who support you. This group is one of them. And also, lean on people, lean on your friends. It's okay. It's just one of those things where you have to put certain things first. Yourself is one of them, and focus on what you can do. I think that's lift up your spirit, because if you're down and you're depressed, then it's going to be much worse.
Yeah, you have to take care of yourself, because if you don't, then that puts a child in harm's way when you have epilepsy.
Mm-hmm. And don't be afraid to ask for help.
I love to hear Angel keeps going back to like look out for your kids, because again, I don't think that was there for a lot of us. It's just really nice to hear that.
Have any of you been traumatized in a hospital setting? They thought I was having a panic attack with seizure-like symptoms. When my chart says I have epilepsy and seizures, I was left alone for 35 minutes while a nurse looked at my chart and accused me of having ridiculous panic attacks and 5+ so seizures during that time. Don't remember much coming in and out of consciousness and worrying I was about to die, and then asking for help, and no one answered during that time. Trying to sleep and recover since discharge has been traumatic and distressing. Has anyone else been traumatized in the hospital setting?
I was. Before we knew what was happening, I thought I had schizophrenia, and my partner, of course, is wonderful, but he didn't know what to do. So he called the medics, and the police showed up. Never fucking call the police. That was not his fault, by the way. They just showed up. They put him, what did they do? They like separated us, and they forcibly strapped me to a stretcher. Probably a bad idea when somebody's having a cluster of seizures, because I started passing out like repeatedly. But once I got into the ambulance, it was like an opportunity for them to just like be abusive. And then when I got to the hospital, I was still strapped down. I wasn't allowed to go to the bathroom. And I kept saying, tell my partner I love him, because I actually thought I was going to die over and over. I don't recommend that. And then I was repeating the same phrase over and over once I got to a bed. Hey, Rizzo, stop licking. Cut that. My dog is licking. Rizzo, buddy. What was I saying? Oh yeah, and then in the midst of this, I could hear them like mocking me because I kept saying the same phrase over and over. So yeah, be careful when calling an EMT. I personally don't recommend it, but maybe people have had better experiences than that. But I found them a couple times to be highly abusive. And I'm also 5 feet tall and like at the time like 80 pounds. So I was not like a direct threat to anybody.
Go ahead, Rick.
So I've had quite a few experiences, but one was kind of like an irrational fear, where when I was getting ready to be helicoptered from one hospital to another to have the brain abscess surgery, I kept telling my wife, I want my phone and I want my wallet. And she said, no, I'll hold it. And I said, no, I'm not going anywhere without them. And the doctors are like, listen, we got to get you on the helicopter. I said, no, I want my ID and I want my phone. I'm not going anywhere. You have no permission to take me. And they looked at my wife and said, give him the phone, give him the wallet. And she says, no, because it might get lost. And I said, I'm not going anywhere. I'll roll myself right out of this bed. She's like, what's going on? I said, I've had two friends that were in hospital situations. One had the wrong surgery because they thought he was somebody else. Another one sat on a gurney out in the hallway for 12 hours. They didn't know who he was because he was not fully aware. I said, I'm not going anywhere. Fine. I get my wallet, I get my cell phone, I get helicoptered, I have surgery. 2 days later, they go to bring me to the MRI room because I needed another MRI. They brought me back to the wrong wing of the hospital. and I didn't have my ID, I didn't have my phone. They wheel me in, and I'm looking around, I'm like, none of this looks familiar. They didn't know who I was. They didn't know where I was supposed to be. And I kept telling them, I just had brain surgery. I'm supposed to be, and I didn't know the room number because the room numbers were very long with decimal points in it and more numbers and letters. So I said, okay, call my wife. And they said, well, no, we can't just call a random person. I said, she's in the room I'm supposed to be in. For 20 minutes, they were arguing where I'm supposed to go, couldn't get me anywhere. And then finally, another person walks by and says, oh, he's over at the Bell Tower Hospital. And they're like, what? And we went back and forth. They brought me to not only the wrong wing, the wrong hospital. How they did that with me in a, pushing me in a wheelchair, I have no idea. As soon as I get back, door opens and my wife's looking at me because I was flustered. The head of the hospital came over, apologized. The head of the nursing department apologized. My wife's like, what's the matter? And I said, I told you I wanted my ID and cell phone. And that was my traumatic experience for that week.
That makes me think I need to start doing that because I never thought like that. Yeah,
Trust me, it happens.
good way to think now. Because I've went to the hospital in no pants, so I didn't have pockets for wallets quite a few times. Yeah, it happens when you wet your clothes. Yeah, and your family sends you there with no pants.
Oh, Pookie, sometimes your stories hurt my heart.
It's all right. It hurt my heart too. Anyhow, this one says, spouses weaponize incompetence. My husband has deliberate incompetence towards my medical needs. If I need my meds picked up, he will forget which ones and how much, and have to call me even though they've been the same meds for years. If I have a seizure, he will walk away and wait for it to be over. And if others ask if I need assistance, he'll say no, it'll stop soon. If I seize in the middle of the night, he gets up and leaves the room. And then the next day, I normally get in trouble for disturbing his sleep and making him tired for work. Or if I seize during the day, I'm possible when he gets home. And if I tell him I would like some affection, he would fall asleep in the bed next to me, watching a movie or something, but not comforting me in any meaningful way. We go to the medical appointments and they ask him what my seizures look like, and he said he doesn't know. I can't drive, and he takes me to appointments, but he's always running late or got caught in traffic or held up at work. I'll ask for practical things like ice pack or a heat pack or a drink if I'm caught up in bed, and he'll forget or say, yeah, coming, and then half an hour or longer will go by while he plays video games or watches TV. He'll leave for work without checking on me and has left me incredibly ill before after a full night of seizures that he knew about. And when he gets home the next evening and I'm still in a bad way and he hasn't checked in 24 hours, he is always gaslighting me, telling me I'm reading too much into it and he's just tired, but it is like I don't exist. He's a very selfish man in his personal life, but he's never been selfish with me until I got sick. Of course, we were already married by then, but I just want to know that if I need him or need someone, that I have his support. That he won't just leave me seizing one day because he's running late for work and assumes I'll stop and then doesn't check in, and that'll be our last moments together. It's like living alone, except I'm supposed to not be alone. I'm meant to be with my husband, the for better and worse death do us part, love of my life guy, and he simply doesn't care or doesn't want to care or something. Um, Advice for that lady? Come on, you guys got to tell her something.
Yeah, dump him. I know that's easy to say, but get him out of there. He sucks.
Yeah, I said the same thing. Yeah, anyone who uses your health against you. I don't suggest sticking around.
It can be hard too because you're probably somewhat dependent on this person at this point, but if you can make some small changes to work your way towards getting out of there. Or I mean, it's possible he's having trouble, accepting it. Maybe I shouldn't be so harsh. But be careful. Maybe like reach out to some friends or get on the podcast so you have some support that's not just that person.
I think I've officially lost all hope. Last March, my epilepsy came back 100 times worse than before. It is now drug resistant. I have focal seizures multiple times a day and grand mal seizures multiple times a month. According to my neurologist, my yearly SUDEP risk is 14%, and that may increase during every single year. Apparently, this means I have 7 years left to live. I am currently 19 years old. If I don't get surgery, I was supposed to get the VNS surgery about a week ago, but my heart started acting funny, and now I have to get this sorted out before proceeding with VNS surgery. I hate all the alternatives. I would rather die than have 1/4 of my brain removed. The neurosurgeon I spoke to said that's my best option besides VNS or have any brain surgery for that matter. It's just too risky. I don't know what else I can do. I think I have officially lost all hope. I kind of accepted my fate, but any advice would be greatly appreciated.
I really wish people would put their age. Sorry, Angel, go ahead.
Yeah. Wish Kevin was here because he has a VNS, but damn it, I forgot what I was going to say. I really forgot what I was just about to say now. Thank you,
That's okay.
Rick, anything?
That's a tough one. I think therapy, research, this podcast, talking with us, talking with others that are going through it. And I don't know if there's support groups at the hospital or medical center, just other people to get together with, I think is something that will help this person a lot.
Over 20 years. Yeah, I'm glad I went through my teens because I don't know what I'd be like if I got it in my later 30s and had to go through that in Kepra now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You can go do the Kepra stuff. But
all right, see ya.
Bye, Sia. Hope you get some sleep.
Yeah, I got to get going to 1 a.m. here.
Oh, damn. Yeah, get some sleep, Rick.
Oh yeah.
Good night, Rick.
Good night. See you all Friday.
See you Friday.
Later, DJ.
Oh, I have a question now that it's like season after hours, which is what I'm gonna call it. Is I've probably asked you guys this like 14 times and I don't remember your answers. Has anybody been on Depakote? Depocatet?
Depakote? Angel has.
Yeah. Did it work for you and did you have like side effects or anything?
I think we talked about it last night, but the first time I was on it, I was in my I would say my early years, early 20-ish. And that was my seizure-free years. And when a breakthrough came, that's like when I got off of it, but I don't even think I got off of it, but The problem with Depakote is it's heavy on your liver, and so are all the other carbamazepine family type medicines. So, yeah, they're heavy on your liver. You will probably be asked monthly to get blood work and stuff done. I'm not going to say monthly, but you will be asked routinely to get blood work done.
They will regret that. They will regret putting me on that.
The second time I was on it, it also was a godsend because it was how they found my liver enzymes were really high after I got the blood work done. And my nurse practitioner contacted me right away as soon as she got the blood work results and said, go get yourself I forget what they call it, but basically the liver specialist. And that's when I found out I had NASH, which is non-alcoholic hepatitis, which is a fatty liver disease. And it just when I asked her, should I be on Depakote, I was actually looking forward to being on Depakote because I remember my seizure-free years. But she suggested no. So I went with her on this one, being just diagnosed with NASH and stuff. So,
Is your liver okay now, by the way?
I'm not taking any meds for my liver. I just changed my diet up. I started a Mediterranean diet, and I haven't had any of the symptoms I had when I was having problems.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to hear that. That's good. That's like
Yeah.
livers, you can't fuck with them. You can't fuck with them
Yeah.
too much. And you didn't even get to drink to get that. So you didn't even get to do the fun stuff.
Yeah, I've been taking meds since 14 years old, and I've been on pretty much most of the carbamazepine family. And they all mess with your livers, and pretty much any med we take destroys our liver. And yeah, age,
Yeah, drink a lot of water.
bad
Being
diet.
14 years old.
You were 14 when you got it in?
Oh no, I was saying
was-
we're all 14 now.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we were all 14. We were all young when we got diagnosed.
Not me.
Yeah.
I got diagnosed with childish epilepsy at 35.
Yeah, but you had it since you were a child, so
Yeah, sometimes I'm glad, honestly. I mean, it's really, who knows what's better. But I mean, I just thought I was weird. Kind of like Kevin said, you're like, you're weird, but like not the good kind of weird.
weird is good.
Weird is
I
always good.
mean, freaky is good. I don't weird can be weird.
Weird brings people
Weird
to
can get
you.
weird.
It's
Pookie,
like,
cut
why
that
are you
out.
so weird? You know?
Yeah, once that started happening, like once people said that to me in my 30s, I was like, I'm no longer a manic pixie dream girl. I'm just kind of the weird person, like the weirdo.
Like, you want me to stop being me, and I'm gonna tell you no.
Yeah, I'm gonna fall off my bike at Burning Man and break all my ribs, and you all are gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah.
I got something here.
Oh no.
It says,
I'm like, what's it called when you get really tired? Like,
Exhausted.
having a focal.
weird.
You're
Go ahead.
Gumby.
We can
Yeah.
head out now. I need to go eat
Yeah.
breakfast. So
Yeah. Okay, yeah, let's do a good
I
night.
think Jason's asleep, and I think Annie's asleep too.
Annie's in a heaven we can't imagine right now.
it's all right, you guys. I will see you guys Friday.
Okay.
All right.
Oranges
Good
are
show. It was a big turnout too.
Yeah. And it's us again. We made it way past our bedtimes. Angel, it's like way past your bedtime.
Angel doesn't have a bedtime on Tuesdays and Fridays.
No,
Good.
way past my bedtime. But hey, guys, it was so
Oh,
nice
Annie.
just hanging out. I think Jason fell asleep.
Yeah.
Jason's
Yeah.
He did it with the camera on one time, but it's cool.
Oh, did he really? Oh, yeah, that's
Oh.
right. He did. That's right. All right, guys. I will see you Friday. When is? Yeah, I'm tired. It's time to go to sleep. All
Night.
right. All right. Night, guys.
Good night.
All right. Night.
I see
Love
you
you. Bye.
guys on Friday.
Later, Pook. Bye, sis.
Night. Love you. Bye.
Please take your medication as prescribed or whatever works for you. We're not doctors.